Hello, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United have bid for Costas Manolas from Roma. Many of you may have missed this last night. It was coming in from Italy. There's some key things about Costas Manolas. We've spoken about him a little bit on the Transfer Daily shows that we do every Monday to Friday at 7 AM. And Manolas is a player that I do really like. But this is interesting for two reasons, really. One, that it totally slipped my mind. And two, that it's coming from Italy. The actual tweet is in Italian. Oh, it's in Italian, it must be real, but it's, let me just give the person a shout out because it's only fair. Nicolo Schira, at Nicolo Schira on Twitter, he tweeted last night, Manchester United is really interested in Costas Manolas for next season and talked with his agent, Mino Raiola. Man United ready to pay €36 million and offered €6 million a year for him. So certainly beyond interest, that is. I mean, £36 million is his release clause. €6 million a year is probably about right for a centre-back, but €36 million, about £32 million. The interesting thing for me is that Coulibaly is the one that many Manchester United fans obviously do want at United, and Martin Mugo says quit with the rumours. Martin, maybe go and quit watching anything to do with this channel, pal, because I've just evidenced where it's come from. I haven't just plucked it out my arse. It's come from a journalist in Italy who is, who was right about the Felipe Anderson to West Ham move. So, we don't just pull them out of our arse. There is actually some reason for it. I've got better things to do at 11 o'clock than do that. But in all seriousness, I like Costas Manolas. I like Costas Manolas. Anyone who's been watching the United Stand for any period of time, he's a very, very good centre-back, says Darth Rian. I was talking about him probably 3 years ago. He was 24 then. Louis van Gaal was our manager, and I think at that time his stats, if anyone's interested in stats, is that he won the most aerial duels in the whole of Serie A, which for me is something that Manchester United desperately do need. We need somebody who's dominant in the air. I think Lindelof's good. I think Smalling does a good job in the air, if not anywhere else. But Manolas is very dominant in the air. He's very quick for somebody who's 6'2". He's got a very, very good recovery rate. He can deal with the smaller players because you get a lot of smaller strikers in Italian football, as you do in the Premier League. Good ball distribution, reads the game very well. I'd say his only real weakness, and you've got to watch a lot of him to find this weakness, is that every now and again he is liable to switch off a little bit. And anybody who watched the Champions League last season with Roma will know about that. But what centre-back isn't? What centre-back isn't infallible? I think, the things that Van Dijk's doing for Liverpool at the moment and the things that Varane and Ramos do and Godin do, I mean, they are top echelon centre-backs. Then you've got your next set. And I think Manolas has a good claim to be there if he makes a move to a bigger club. And for €34 million, you can't fault it. The only thing I would say about Manolas, and I just want to say, come back to the Coulibaly thing in a moment, the only thing I would say about Manolas is the talk about it being for next summer, but that bothers me a little bit. Why are we not doing it now? We need a centre-back now, and Manolas, to me, makes more sense to do now than he does in the summer. If we're waiting until the summer, I'd rather get Coulibaly. And the logic behind that is, well, why are we going for a cut-price centre-back in the summer? Why not just go for the very best in the summer? If we're going for a cut-price player in January, it makes sense. January sales, he's a very good centre-back. Get him in now. Maybe help us get top four. If we're waiting to get a cut price centre back in the summer, I'm like, why are we doing cut price deals in the summer? Go and get the very best. That's my frustration with it. And the journalist who's talking about this, he says it's a deal for the summer. Now, interestingly, with Manolas, not many people would have picked this up. His agent is Mino Raiola. Now, that's not something you should know because it's only something that happened like very late December. I think it was just before Christmas that he was announced as his new agent. So Raiola obviously still very good relationships with United, and I think that's important if you've got any hopes like me that we might do a deal with Hirving Lozano, because Hirving Lozano is also a client of Mino Raiola, and I felt that maybe United's relationships with Raiola had maybe gone sour since we got rid of Mkhitaryan and since the issue with Pogba and Mourinho. However, Mourinho's gone now, Pogba's still here, he's a fundamental part of United. Maybe Mino Raiola is currently dealing on a new deal with Pogba at United, and we can do some deals with Raiola in relation to some of his players. I know a lot of people don't like Mino Raiola, but the reality is there's a lot of agents like that in football now. So Mino Raiola is his agent, which is interesting. But, I mean, what I would say about Manolas is, when you compare him to Coulibaly, Coulibaly's going to cost you 90 million, Manolas is going to cost you 30 million, give or take. They're both 27. They're both 28 in June. 6'2" Manolas, very good in the air. 6'5" Coulibaly, obviously a bit bigger, a bit better in the air. Manolas is quick. Coulibaly's probably a little bit quicker. Manolas is good on the ball. Coulibaly's probably a little bit better on the ball. Manolas is good at reading the game. Coulibaly's probably a little bit better. But they're only little bits. They're only little bits. And to be honest with you, there isn't a world of difference between Coulibaly and Manolas. And anybody who says there is, don't watch Italian football. There isn't a world of difference. One plays for Roma, one plays for Napoli. Both good teams, both Champions League experience, both internationals. Coulibaly is marginally better, and I would prefer him because of that. But I wouldn't be disappointed with Manolas. My only problem with it is that if we're getting Manolas, we should do it in January. We shouldn't wait till... If we're waiting till the summer, go and get Coulibaly. Go and get Skriniar. Go and get the best. If it's for now, get Manolas, because Manolas can solve a problem right now. But I don't want us to be making... I don't want us to be making a cut price deal in the summer. You know, that stinks to me of the United regime again, trying to save money. Solskjaer's doing a good job at Manchester United, without question, a doubt. But there's a lot of work, as we saw yesterday, that needs to be done with that squad, which I'll come back to in a minute. And if we're gonna change this squad, we can't be cutting corners. You know, you don't catch up by cutting corners. You get done for cheating. So we're not going to get done for cheating. I'm just saying, if you're running a race and you cut a corner, you're probably going to get done for cheating. So I think that if we want to close the gap in the summer, go and buy Coulibaly. If you're looking to try and get top four now, get Costas Manolas, because you might not get Coulibaly. That's the best way I could put it. People are arguing about the size of Coulibaly. He's not 6'2", he's 6'5". Anyone who's saying he's 6'5", he is 6'5". He's absolutely massive. But very, very good centre-back, both of them. Now, I just want to talk about the game yesterday, because there's a lot of people... look, I just tweeted this off my account at Mark Goldbridge. Like, Sunday morning, the Saddos wake up, the other side of the bed's empty, they've run out of tissues, and it's a day of you-know-what in front of them. And they get very bitter on social media. And I've got no place for that. I've got no place for it. I do not get why people have to go in on other people in vile ways. But what I also think is a problem with modern society is that this opinion seems to have disappeared. Everyone's got an agenda. If you say something about somebody, you hate them. If you say something positive about somebody, you love them. I don't know where this void has disappeared. But when I was growing up and throughout my life, opinion is a massive area between love and hate. Now, people say there's a thin line between love and hate, but there isn't when it comes to opinion. If you hate somebody because you've never met them, as a footballer, say, that's a very, 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 very extreme opinion. And if you absolutely love somebody, that's a very extreme opinion as well. And when we live in a world of football, you know, 93%, I would say, very accurate, Goldbridge, is opinion. And then you've got hate and love. Now, if I say something, criticise a player, I don't fucking hate them. And I get bored of people on Twitter, especially, who have these extremes that if you say something about somebody, you hate them. I don't hate anybody. For 6 years, I've said Fellaini is not a United player and I won't get rid of him. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. I think hate's a very extreme thing. And there's too much hate in this world. That's why you get loads of things going off that I don't want to get into. I don't hate Fellaini. I don't hate him at all. I just dislike a lot of things about him in a Manchester United shirt. But my life doesn't revolve around hate. It revolves about an opinion. And I will have an opinion. And sometimes I'll criticise somebody who I really like. Like Pereira, I really like. And I think he's probably blown his chances at United yesterday. He was so badly. It doesn't mean I suddenly hate him. And this is what somebody was saying. Oh, you really hate Lukaku. I don't bloody hate Lukaku. Go back to the videos when we signed Lukaku. I said I really hope it works for him. But the glaring obvious issue for me is he a top four striker with a touch like a bloody bouncy ball and very poor passing ability? He just doesn't seem to have a football brain. And I've seen people like this before. Peter Crouch is very much the same, you know, useful, but he doesn't really have a build-up play football brain. He was very... Peter Crouch and Lukaku are very, very similar in many ways. Their build-up play was so lethargic and slow. And I suppose it's unfair to say they haven't got a football brain because the finishing of Lukaku is very, very good, but his overall game, it's lacking. And all I get from people back is, oh, you hate Lukaku, 3 goals in 3 games and you're hating on him. Get behind him, support the player. And I'm like, well, of course I'm behind the player. He wears a Manchester United shirt. If he scores goals for United, great. But I'm not blind. I'm not bloody blind. I can't suddenly get Lukaku on the back of my shirt and say he scored 3 goals in 3 games. He's the real deal. He still can't control the ball. And he still can't deliver a good pass. And that is consistent over his whole career, not at just Manchester United. It's like bloody DHL or the Royal Mail. You know, every now and again, he does deliver. He does score a goal. But 9 times out of 10, your delivery doesn't make it. It goes somewhere else. You know, you're sending your Christmas present to your gran. She's waiting for it on Christmas Eve. And it ends up at bloody Donald Trump's house in America. That's Lukaku. You know, he's not reliable. So, yeah, every now and again, he'll deliver it. And, you know, an hour before you're expecting it. You know, it's going to be there tomorrow morning, sir. You get it the night before. Brilliant. Brilliant finish by Lukaku. Brilliant delivery. But for the next 9, 10 deliveries, it ain't coming to your gran. It's going to Switzerland, Scotland, bloody Azerbaijan, anywhere. Or maybe it never even makes it. And that's the problem with Lukaku. Reliability. You know, he can score goals. If you give him an easy delivery, he'll put it in the letterbox. But if you want him to work for it and figure out himself, take the sat-nav away. Now, come on, Romelu. You've delivered to this house before. We're not giving you the instructions. Just take it down the road and deliver it through the letterbox. No, throw it in the bush. I don't know what to do with it. And that's the problem with Lukaku. He can deliver. Every now and again, his delivery is spot on. It's 10 out of 10. But too often than not, a simple delivery, he can't make it. And that is the problem. It's as simple as that. It's nothing to do with hate. I really do get tired of trying to communicate with people, especially on Twitter, because I'm more than happy to do it. And they come in with, oh, you just hate them. And that's it, I'm out. I'm muting you. I'm never going to reply to a comment from you again because your mind is so narrow. You're one of these lazy people who just live in a world where you either hate something or you love it. You can't live in real life. You know, your whole life is spent on a phone where it's, yes, I like it, no, I don't. There's no creativity in your mind. There's no fact that you can like something, but you can criticise it. And that worries me. That worries me about people like that because I've worked for some fantastic people throughout my life and they've made decisions and I've said I don't agree with that. And they've respected me for it, or they've sacked me. But either way, if I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. It doesn't mean I don't like that thing. And I think football's become so tribal like that. It's like if you criticise a certain player, you've got a hate agenda. Like Sanchez yesterday, I mean, Sanchez to me, I didn't give him the worst mark in the game. I gave him an average 6. People like Fred and Ashley Young and McTominay and Pereira, some of those players I really like, they've got way lower than 6. So I gave average 6 to Sanchez. But what I said is actually he probably should get a 4 because we're paying him more money than anybody else in this league. He's meant to be producing Hazard, Salah, De Bruyne performances, and he's producing Nathan Redmond, Marcus Albrighton performances. That's not good enough. You know, if he wants to do that, let's get his wage down to 70 grand a week instead of a 350. You know, that's why I'm critical of Sanchez. But no, I've got a hate agenda against him. I don't hate anybody. I actually don't hate anybody in my life, whether it's to do with United stand or personal life. I just don't do it. But what I will do is be critical. And that, sorry, if you don't like it, bite it. That's all I can say. Andreas needs more time. I guess we can't judge him by yesterday, says Manu Abraham. Well, I'm going to be consistent about that. I do really like Andreas Pereira, but I think you're a footballer. You got 90 minutes and you totally blew it, and I don't know why. I think he should have done better. He should have done better. The Spookster says Lukaku's got a trampoline foot. I've never heard that one. That's why I laughed. It's good. Lukaku can't be relied on, says Denzel. Look, I don't want an agenda against Lukaku. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that he ain't our first choice striker. Rashford is. And Rashford makes mistakes. You know, Rashford, his final ball, let's be consistent here. Rashford's final ball is very inconsistent. When he's trying to head across, he closes his eyes. When he's through one-on-one, sometimes he just puts his foot through it and he doesn't think where he's passing it. When he's putting a cross in, sometimes he doesn't look up. But Rashford's like a kid, really, compared to Lukaku's 25. He's 26 this year. Rashford can improve, but Rashford can hold the ball up and play a pass. Lukaku can't. And as I say, going back to that for a moment, if you want Lukaku as your striker, that's fine. But let me throw this to you. Yesterday and all the other times, when Lukaku gets the ball passed to his feet, and it happened twice against Newcastle as well, he gets the ball to his feet on the centre circle. If he holds that ball up and gives it to a United player, we retain possession and we start building. If he doesn't hold it up and Newcastle or Reading get it, Newcastle get it and they start building. Now that's against Newcastle and Reading. If that's against Liverpool, Man City, Spurs, you're gifting up possession to very good teams that are going to hurt you, when actually, if you've got Rashford up there, he will hold the ball and give it to you, and you can start building possession. I don't think people look at football that in depth, that every time Lukaku doesn't hold the ball up and the opposition get the ball, we're gifting them a chance to score a goal. Whereas we're not asking much of him. It's simple balls into his feet. All he's got to do is hold it up, give it to a United player. We keep possession. We've got more chance of scoring. He's gifting cheap possession to our opposition. They're not having to work to get it. That is a problem. And people will just, as I said this morning on Twitter, people joke about trampoline foot, Timberland boots. Oh yeah, it's all good and funny. But I don't think it is funny actually. He's our number 9. He needs to sort it out, because we can't gift possession up cheaply like that. This is high-end football. This is Champions League football. This is trying to get in the top 4 in the Premier League. High-end football. You can't gift possession to the opposition when you're getting a simple pass to your feet. If it's a long ball and it's fast and you can't control it, fair enough, and they get it, that's fine. But when it's a simple pass into your feet and you're giving it to the opposition, it's not a joke. It's not good. It's not good. Lewis Edwards has made a contribution. He thoughts on Ndidi and Aki. I don't think Nathan Aki's good enough for United, to be honest with you, but I think Ndidi is. I would love him. It was a poor performance from their team yesterday, Tessa Bean. Sign back Memphis. Put him on the right, says Tom Hughes. I'd bloody love us to sign a right midfielder. I would really love us to do it. I don't know whether we're going to, because when you look at it, as I said, Martial, Rashford, Sanchez, Mata, Lingard, that's 5 players who can play on the wide. They're going to have to get rid of somebody, and I don't think they are. I can see us giving Mata a new contract, to be honest. Mike says, I love Manolas. He's playing with so much passion in some important games. He cried after they won. I'm a massive fan of Manolas. Smash a like on the video. I would love Manolas at United. I just think, why we wait until the summer? That's 6 months. Get him in now. We need a centre-back now. He's got a release clause. I think the release clause doesn't kick in till the summer, though. That's probably why we're waiting until the summer. I should have said that a little bit sooner. But having said that, if we're going to buy him for 34 million, for 30 million, 32 million in the summer, why not say to Roma now, well, we'll give you 40 million or 45 now? It's still a bargain at 45 million, and we get him now. But United won't, because it's all about saving bloody money, isn't it? But we need a centre-back now. It could be the difference between 5th and 4th. Go and get him. I think go and get him now. Thoughts on Skriniar, Snowball? I like Skriniar. I think he's probably out of United's range. 80 million is what he'd cost. AS7 Alexi says Manolas isn't that good. Well done for having an opinion, mate. Really well done for having an opinion. I watch a lot of Italian football. I've been on about him for 3 years. The videos are out there. I'm very consistent. Manolas is a good player. I said the same about Fabinho. And I apparently had to take an L on it, but now he's doing fantastically well for Liverpool. I wanted Fabinho over Matic, because I watch these players. So I like Manolas. I think he'd be very good. I don't know whether we're going to get him, but I do think he's a very, very good player. Chunk says Maguire. I wouldn't be upset with Maguire, but he isn't as good as Manolas, and he isn't as good as Coulibaly. And he'll cost more money. So, you pay. If our club wants to sign him, I'll back it, but I don't think so. Coulibaly is in Dubai. Tony Martial and Manchester United are in Dubai. Proximity, does that help a deal? I don't know. But I think we'd all prefer Coulibaly, wouldn't we? But and I think that deal can be done. It's just whether the club want to spend the money or not. Anyway, a couple of things for you. For 2019, I do have an Instagram page, and people always say, oh, we'd like a little behind the scenes stuff. So I have started putting up at least 1 photo a day of what's going on behind my life. You can see what I had for breakfast this morning. Link in the video description on my Instagram page. If you want to follow Goldbridge in 2019, you can do that. And tonight at 8 o'clock, Sunday Night Live. It's not been here for a couple of weeks because of New Year and Christmas. So Sunday Night Live is back at 8 o'clock tonight. Sophie and Flex and me and you. Join us. We'll be talking about United, Ollie, what's to come. Lots and lots to talk about because we haven't got together for a couple of weeks. And thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Have a good Sunday. Stay positive, people. Don't fall into the Sunday moany bastard bitter trap. There's some horrible people out there on a Sunday morning. Horrible. Don't be like that. Be positive. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.